same white ruling class that denies us our human rights also exploits our brothers and sisters in Africa. We have a common oppressor, whether in South Africa or Philadelphia, whether in Mozambique or Alabama. We suffer from the same oppression and exploitation. A common oppression demands a common solution. Revolutionaries are guided by a deep feeling of love for the people. We, the participants of African Liberation Day, view this film as a sincere demonstration of our undying love for our brothers and sisters who daily wage an armed struggle for national liberation against the forces of racism and capitalism. On May 27th, 60,000 black people demonstrated the solidarity which we have for our brothers and sisters waging armed national liberation struggles on the continent. This massive demonstration of African solidarity proved to be the largest of its kind since those organized by the Universal Negro Improvement Association in the 1920s. Back in the 1920s, Marcus Garvey, the president of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, organized a mass-based Pan-African movement that called for the liberation and unification of the African continent. Also, during the first half of the 20th century, black intellectuals such as Sylvester Williams, W.E.B. Du Bois, and George Padmore organized a series of Pan-African conferences which called for the elimination of colonialist domination in Africa. In the 1950s and 60s, Africans in the U.S. moved from struggling for civil rights to actively destroying and liberating property from the oppressor. While we moved thus in our struggle to gain liberation, African peoples on the continent were granted independence by their colonial masters. In many nations, this form of independence proved to be a sham. Neocolonialism proved to be just as exploitative as colonialism. Independence is meaningless unless the workers and peasants of Africa are actively involved in developing their political, economic, and cultural potential. In the territories of Africa where white settler regimes and Portuguese colonialists attempted to remain in power, armed struggles for national liberation developed. These brothers and sisters do the work of both building a nation and carrying on a war of national liberation. Although thousands of our people showed support for these national liberation struggles on May 27th, there are still millions of us who fail to realize the importance of Africa. In San Francisco, on African Liberation Day, Brother Walter Rodney, an African historian, noted both the importance of African Liberation Day in terms of our African identity and some of the root causes for our problem of identification.
I have met brothers and sisters who say that their mother tongue, quote unquote, is French, Spanish, Dutch, Portuguese, as well as English, which we speak. And because of this, we have a problem of identification. We do not know whom we are. And that is why this gathering is of great symbolic importance, because it is an act of identification. We are saying that we identify with the African people of the African continent. We are saying that we are an African people.
Our participation in African Liberation Day accomplishes two very important things. First, it shows our solidarity with national liberation struggles in Africa. And secondly, it helps to raise our own political consciousness to the level where we begin to take action to eliminate the oppressive conditions within the United States.
If we had brought 10 people here today for Africa, it would have been historic. Because black people were not looking for Africa before. To see all these black people, all these African people, is one of the greatest moments in all of our lives. I only hope that everybody here realizes what it means, and that we work from today to understand that every day is African Liberation Day. It cannot be a thing like Brotherhood Week. Understand that every day is African Liberation Day. In Jennings, I'll leave you with this. They say imperialisme, abba, meaning down with imperialism. Imperialisme, abba.
When Rhodesia is liberated, it will be named Zimbabwe. A representative from the Front of the Liberation of Zimbabwe, Isaiah Zuwarara, told the black people gathered at Lumumba Square about the problem of black opportunists who benefit from the exploitation of their brothers and sisters.
When Africans, whether as individuals or as groups, when Africans, whether individuals or nations, when they are faced with a choice between earning an income from white regimes or supporting their own Africans at the expense of earning that income, they will sacrifice their own for the income benefit. We have seen in the OAU movement a wedge thrust in and new levels coming in that says they are liberal good nations of Africans and they are extremist nations of Africans. And the liberal good nations of Africans have become now the proponents of dialogue with South Africa. They have now done that in order to earn loans from the World Bank. They have now done that in order to earn good relationship with France and the United States at the expense of the dying of the Africans in Southern Africa.
From the South African embassy, the marchers headed toward the State Department of the United States government. It becomes clearer each day that with 25 million black people within the United States, that there is no reason why we cannot alter the U.S. policy toward Africa. The accomplishment of this goal will take many years of hard struggle. The United States itself is a 200-year-old settler state. As such, it totally supports the settler regimes of South Africa, Rhodesia, and Israel. Imamu Baraka, the leader of the Committee for a Unified New Arc and political coordinator of the Congress of African People, reminded brothers and sisters that we must work towards building an independent black political party.
We must be done with mere rhetoricizing. We must be done with just talking a good game. We must begin to organize a political structure that can transform not only our spiritual consciousness, but transform our reality. We must deal with the transformation of our reality.
As the day came to a close, its significance and purpose was clearly stated by Owusu Sadoki, Mwalimu of Malcolm X Liberation University and National Chairman for African Liberation Day. He spoke of our perseverance and endurance and our 300 years of struggle for liberation.
Look around and see that in spite of all of the brutalization of this beast, we still stand. Look around and see the beauty and the potential of the black man. Look around and see that we represent the non-white world, which is the majority on this earth. Look around and see that our people are here to tell the world that Everything is going to be everything one day for the black man. But let us be clear, brothers and sisters, the road ahead will be difficult. We will not be free simply because one day we came to Washington, D.C. This demonstration must be understood for what it is. One small tactic. One more thing that is going to heighten the level of our struggle. We are here today, brothers and sisters, to show our support and solidarity for our people who are engaged in armed struggle against our enemies in Southern Africa. We are here today to give witness to that struggle, to emphasize the legitimacy of that struggle. We are here to say to those brothers and sisters, press on. We are here to say to the white ruling class of this country and to the world that the niggers ain't niggers anymore. We are here to say that we will no longer will we engage in discussions about violence and nonviolence. We are here to say that there's only one relevant discussion for the black man in this world, and that is the discussion about our complete liberation. So that as we move to end this day, it must be understood by all of us that this effort is just the beginning. We must see that the torch of struggle is now in our hands. We must see that our struggle must be fought with everything at our disposal. But in all cases, it must be fought collectively. So fight on, Frelimo. Fight on, MPLA. Fight on, PAIGC. Fight on, ZANU. Fight on, ZAPU. Fight on, Folizi. Fight on, black people of Columbus. Fight on, black people of Wilmington, North Carolina. Fight on, black people of Cairo, Illinois. Fight on, black people of Washington, D.C. We remember you, rap. We have not forgotten you, rap. We remember you. We remember you, brother Imari. Fight on, you sisters who are in prison. Fight on, black people. Fight on, because we